The first Death Star was the pinnacle of Imperial technology. The capability to destroy an entire planet in a single stroke is a technological feat that is rarely seen in Star Wars. So when it does occur, it will leave a significant mark on the galaxy. The Death Star was the brainchild and pet project of Grand Moff Wilhuff Tarkin. It was designed to incite fear and submission onto the entire galaxy with its planet-busting ability via its concave dish composite beam superlaser. After the Death Star was destroyed in Yavin, the Empire began to panic and lose control over the galaxy. To regain it, they needed another superweapon to police the galaxy and to have the same capabilities and fewer flaws than the destroyed Death Star. We know in legends that after the Death Star was destroyed, the Empire ordered the construction of a second and larger Death Star above Endor. But in the meantime, they constructed another smaller but similar awe-inspiring superweapon. Enter the Tarkin. Named in honor of the late Grand Moff Tarkin, the Tarkin was designed by the Imperial Department of Military Research with the help of Bevel Lemelisk, the chief designer of the original Death Star. The Tarkin functioned as a test bed for the construction of the Eclipse Super Star Destroyer over Kuat, which a decade later would become the Emperor's flagship in the events of the comic Dark Empire. The Tarkin boasted a length of 42 kilometers and a height of 70 kilometers. It had a Class 4 hyperdrive and was crewed by 35,000 plus 8,000 gunners and could hold over 100,000 stormtroopers. The station also boasted a contingent of TIE fighters for close-range aerial support should it be needed. The Tarkin lacked its predecessor's Achilles heel, an exposed thermal exhaust port. As well, it housed its own personal shield generator to protect the station. The Empire began building the colossal weapon in secret above the planet Hakaleg in the Outer Rim in the Saswana sector. The station's main weapon was its massive ionic cannon superlaser, with the capability to shatter an entire planet in one shot, similar to the Death Star. 3 years after Yavin, the station piqued the interest of Grand Admiral Martio Batch. Batch spearheaded the Empire's efforts to revitalize cloaking technology, as cloaking devices were almost non-existent during the age of the Empire. Batch possessed mines on the molten wild space world of Aten II. The mines, once rich in Stygium crystals, a resource crucial in cloaking technology, had run dry. To solve this dilemma, Batch requested the assistance of the Tarkin. Batch had to pull some strings in the Imperial Navy to temporarily divert the Tarkin to Aten II and, in the weapon's first ever firing, destroy the planet. This event released millions of Stygium crystals into space, which were then harvested by Batch. These crystals were pivotal in the completion of his TIE Phantom project, which were TIE fighters equipped with advanced cloaking technology. Not long after this, a rebel spy and pilot named Maraba Tev led a mission to the system the Tarkin was constructed in. He managed to steal a set of schematics for the Tarkin and revealed its existence to the Rebel Alliance. Rebel High Command swore to destroy the station, as they feared the threat it may pose to them and the galaxy. Esteemed Rebel General Carlos Rican, present at the Battle of Hoth, organized a sabotage mission to the station. This mission would have Rebel heroes Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2 infiltrate the weapon by an Imperial shuttlecraft. All was proceeding smoothly until the Sith Lord Darth Vader arrived on the station for an inspection and quickly sensed Luke's presence on board through the Force. Vader decided to set a trap near the weapon's main reactor, as he figured that is where the rebels would likely go to sabotage the Tarkin. Vader's goal was to turn Luke to the dark side of the Force, much like he tried on Bespin. All the while, the Tarkin's commanding officers planned a hit on Darth Vader, as they were tired of constantly living in fear of the Dark Lord and his iron discipline. The rebel group decided to split up and disable certain internal components for the station. Chewbacca was to disable the station's tractor beam generator to allow the rebels to escape. Leia would steal an escape pod for when they needed to escape the station. And finally, Luke would lob a proton grenade into the central reactor. While Vader was busy chasing down Luke, the Imperial conspirators planned their strike on the Dark Lord. Colonel Nord, one of the Imperials, remotely opened one of the Tarkin's airlocks, hoping to send Vader and Skywalker into the vacuum of space, killing them. The two were able to pull themselves away from the opening and escape their doom using the Force. However, Luke's grenade was sucked into space, foiling his plan. At this point, Leia somehow wound up in a room that housed the activating mechanism for the Tarkin's ionic cannon. Leia was able to switch around some of the wiring of the firing mechanism, reversing the polarity modes of the super laser fire controls. This would, in effect, set the Tarkin to self-destruct should it ever attempt to fire its weapon. Finally, the rebels managed to escape the station in an unused transport, but were chased by TIE fighters. The sudden arrival of Lando Calrissian in the Millennium Falcon helped the rebels escape the fighters, but they were pursued by Darth Vader in his advanced TIE fighter. After a heated dogfight, the Falcon managed to disable Vader's TIE fighter and leave it drifting in space. Vader and the rebel vessels were in perfect firing sight for the Tarkin, and Colonel Nord ordered the weapon to fire on them, hoping to wipe out both Vader and the rebels in one stroke. But just as the station's gunners activated the firing mechanism and primary ignition, the station exploded, instantly in a similar manner to the destruction of the first Death Star 3 years ago. And so the Tarkin was destroyed, only to be replaced by the second Death Star only months later. The Tarkin is barely ever mentioned in the Star Wars fandom, only making its physical appearances in 2 Marvel comics from 1981. I, for one, very much so love the design of the station, and I wish Legends had done more with the weapon. Thank you for watching this lore video. I hope you enjoyed.